Counting on alum Josh Duggar made headlines in June after the Supreme Court denied his latest appeal, but has been trying to overturn his case over the past few months. However, he always ended up disappointed. Others also think Jim Bob is just wasting his time trying to defend his son and fund his defenses. But despite all the controversies, some Redditors think Josh will remain the golden child in the family. Keep reading to see why. According to reports, Josh's appeal for certiorari was denied by the Supreme Court, and he will continue serving his 12.5-year prison sentence. It wasn't explained why the Supreme Court rejected the counting on alum. A certiorari is an appeal to have a higher court review the decisions made by a lower court. But it seems Josh's conviction is final despite all his excuses, including blaming Caleb Williams as an alternate suspect. Some Redditors discuss the possibility that Josh Duggar is still the golden child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. According to the poster, they're curious if the family still treats the counting on alum the same way despite his immoral sins. The Reddit user thinks there's a chance that he was stripped of the title after getting sent to prison. However, many commenters believe he will continue to be the most special child of Jim Bob and Michelle, especially because of how Jim Bob has been trying to overturn his case. So everyone knows Pest is the golden child. But assuming that prison stripped him of that title, who is the new golden child? Pest will always be Sperm's golden child. However, hear who is next in line for the golden child status after Pest. 1. Jed. 2. JD. 3. Jonah. 4. Jessa. I think deep down, he'll never be unseated as the golden child. However, I'm guessing that in more recent times the favorite one is whoever is the least friendly with Jill and Jinga at any given moment. JB will always support him, but I get the impression Michelle doesn't like him. I think Josh is JB's fav and Josie is Meech's fav. I don't think they can do anything to fall out of the favor of either. Josh also caught the attention of many after an insider claimed that he was upset about the lack of efforts of some family members. He allegedly threatens to write a tell-all book against his family, and sources claim that Jim Bob is terrified by it, which is why he's been trying his best to set the counting on alum free. The insider added that some of his sisters have already forgiven him, but Josh won't forgive them for not doing enough during his trials. Over the years, TLC has gone through many changes. Some shows have beaten the testing times and have lasted on the platform for more than a decade. Others got cancelled only after a few seasons. One of the relatively new shows that became popular over the recent years has been 7 Little Jonestones. It's been almost a decade since it aired for the first time. There is a buzz around the internet that one of the most infamous families from the reality TV world has helped the Jonestones reach this milestone. Well, a lot of viewers are crediting felon Josh Duggar for doing his bit in helping the Little People family become so popular. But how did he do so? What connection do these people have? It's been a long while since 7 Little Jonestones took over TLC. Over the 9 years, the show has reached new heights. In a post, Amber Johnston also shared how the family shot for their 100th episode. Everyone feels that the show got so popular after fans saw their fun personalities and their never-ending spirit. They tackled the challenges life threw at them as little people. As per their things, some believe that the infamous Duggar family's Josh Duggar had something to do with the Johnston family's popularity. Everyone knows that he is a felon and has been in prison, serving a 12-year prison sentence for possessing child**** content. Prior to this, TLC had decided to cancel his family's show, 19 Kids and Counting. It happened in 2015 when there were allegations about Josh molesting minor 5 girls, 4 of them being his sisters. It turns out that 2015 was the same year when 7 Little Jonestones went on air too. Earlier, 19 Kids and Counting would garner a lot of views. It had an average of 2.3 views in every episode before TLC cancelled it. So fans now have reason to believe the 19 Kids and Counting audience switched to watching the Jonestones as a substitute, which may have helped them garner tons of watchers altogether. As mentioned above, it's been 9 years since the 7 Little Jonestones family introduced itself on TV. It's been an emotional ride for everyone. Not only are the Johnston kids young adults, but one of them also welcomed their first baby in the previous season of the show. Everyone was looking forward to the changing family dynamics as they have Liz's baby Leighton to take care of and raise in the upcoming seasons. But it looks like the Johnstons are considering ending their reality TV careers. There has been beef in the family. That's because fans had suspected Anna was not on good terms with the rest of them. Then, they got tons of proof on the internet about the same. For instance, she didn't accompany them on their Puerto Rico trip and said no one invited her. There was also an update saying the Johnstons didn't go to Puerto Rico with the camera crew. Could this be because they want to keep the family feud private? Is it because the family has its mindset on quitting the show? Well, only time will tell. Keep an eye on TV season and spoilers for more 7 Little Johnstons news. The former reality star was once so opposed to pornography that he organized a protest at a local gas station that stopped X-rated magazines. Long before he was a convicted sex offender charged with receiving and possessing child sex abuse materials, Josh Duggar was so vehemently opposed to anything X-rated that he once formed a boycott of a local gas station that carried pornography. In her memoir Counting the Cost, which was released in September 2023, Jill Duggar Dillard recalls her brother, now 36, forming the Special Boycott Club when he was 12 years old. Jill wrote that it was their father, Jim Bob Duggar, who had told the children about the gas station selling the magazines during their evening Bible time. "We were all shocked and upset," she wrote. "My older brothers Josh and John were determined to do something about it." Jill says that Josh and John invited a few other homeschool boys to form the Boys Christian Outreach Team, known as the Boycott Club for short. She noted that their mission was to buy a bunch of Christian leaflets explaining how to become a Christian and hand them out around town, and try to persuade everyone they knew to boycott the gas station. Jill also indicated that all of the Duggar children were dissuaded by their parents from learning about anything that was sexual in nature from the time they were young. "For as long as I can remember, my parents warned us regularly about the dangers of sin. They told us that sin came in many forms, like lying, stealing, disobeying our parents, or being a tattletale, which my parents called stirring up contention among the brethren. But perhaps the most dangerous and destructive sins of all are around sex and temptation," Jill wrote. She also explained that their mother, Michelle Duggar, warned the girls in the family about the dangers of dressing inappropriately. "I learned from your dad that men aren't like us girls," Michelle told Jill, according to Counting the Cost. "When women wear tight or revealing clothes that show certain parts of their skin between their collarbone and knees, it gets guys going and can stir up sensual desires," she said. "It can make them think bad thoughts. When girls do that to men, they're defrauding them. That's not good, and it can lead them to sin." Despite the constant lessons about the dangers of sin and temptation, it came to light in 2006 that Josh had been investigated as a teen for inappropriately touching 5 underage girls, including his sisters. Then, in 2015, a news report was released stating that Josh had active accounts on Ashley Madison, a website used for facilitating extramarital affairs. At the time, he admitted to cheating on his wife Anna Duggar and having a pornography addiction. The couple wed in 2008 and share 7 kids. What we know about the child pornography case against Josh Duggar, which he denies. "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever," he said in a statement at the time. "While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly over the last several years been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife." Josh humbly asked the public for forgiveness. However, in April 2021, he was arrested by Homeland Security on charges of receiving and possessing child pornography. He was found guilty on 2 charges and sentenced in May 2022. He is currently serving a nearly 13-year sentence at a correctional facility in Texas. He isn't expected to be released until October 2032. Josh Duggar will remain in prison until 2032 after appeal in child pornography case is rejected. In her memoir, Jill revealed that her parents had sent Josh away as a child to address his impure thoughts and actions, but by the time they filmed their first documentary special, he was already back home. By the time 14 Children and Pregnant Again was complete, Josh had returned to live with us, she said. His head had been shaved, I guess in an attempt to punish him or instill some humility. I wasn't worried about him, though. I was a kid, and I trusted that things would get better now that Josh had been fixed. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual abuse, text STRENGTH to the crisis text line at 741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor.